Hi everybody, Jo here again. Lovely to come in and spend some time with you. Did you enjoy yesterday? Bet you did. Fabulous YouTubes and videos and giveaways, and honestly, it's so exciting. I'm so chuffed to be part of this extravaganza. So I hope you're enjoying it too. I must admit though, I always have to buy an extra packet of biscuits before it starts. Yeah, better not weigh myself after. Anyway, so today I thought we'd come in and create a design similar to this. And I just love this new stamp, and I think this one's called Botanical Blossoms. And the first thing you think of is peacock feathers, absolutely stunning. And I have to say, our fabulous Mandy did a lovely sample with the swan's head, and it just looked amazing. And that got me thinking, now I'm going to put one of our lovely potion bottles in front of it, but there are so many things. This stamp is wonderful for pattern building. Again, just stamp it out on copy of paper. You can stamp another one here. You can stamp them for, honestly, you will just build up so many patterns. But also, look, we have so many stamps that you could stamp alongside it. So I'm thinking, what about our fabulous cheeky mice? They could have a dressing up. I'm thinking, now, definitely ready for a bit of a shimmy with that. You know, there is so many, just look through your stash and think how you are going to mix and match these new stamps with what you've already got. And to me, that's so important. I know I keep saying this, but you know, we don't want stamps that are just standalone, that you suddenly think, right, I've stamped it once, that's it, what can I do with it? One trick pony. We don't want that. We want ones that, as I say, for me, I can use this in pattern building. It makes just a great background. And I love doing frames. It makes a fabulous frame, you know. So, like I say, this is just the starting point. So look out for Mandy's sample. Honestly, it's fabulous. So, like I say, that got my head going. And my little thing here is we have flying oil in here. I don't know if you can see. And so we're going to follow our dreams and fly off. See? Amazing the way my head works. Probably better you don't know that though. We'll start off by adding our black line around. Now this is Multifairies card, and this is a 7 by 7. And I'm just looking for my piece of copy paper. Obviously I have to have the one with lines on. Maybe just turn it round so I've got a cleaner bit to work on. And I'm just going to drag my pen. And this for me just saves using black card. Two things: saves on weight if you're posting, saves on time, and dare I say, saves on cost. If I buy less black card, I can get an extra stamp. That's just the way my head works. There we go. Get rid of that till next time. And we're going to start by stamping our lovely potion bottle. Now, I've already got myself a mask. So for any of our lovely new followers, all that is, and I've just got it at the side here, we have masking sheets at Lavinia, and all you do is stamp your stamp on the tissue side and cut it out. The little acetate, we just bin that. It's just a carrier sheet, but it's the tissue. And this you can use again and again. And I have to say, I do, as you can see by this one. And I just store my mask where I'm going to store my stamps. Now, what I do want to do is be mindful. I'm going to stamp my beautiful botanical. So I need to think, if I'm putting my botanical there, I want my bottle about here. Right, remind me of that when I go to stamp it. And again, it's that thing. It's always good to do a bit of masking. It just helps with your thinking. You stamp what's in the foreground and then mask it off. So I'm thinking, did I say about there? Well, do you know what? We're going for there. I love these bottles. So many things you can do with them. Yeah. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a blot. You know, I have this thing about smudging. And then with my masking sheet, and again, I've used this time and time again, but I love the fact that Okay, it may lose a little bit of its tack, but I think I've used this one probably about 12 times already, but it'll be fine. So we'll stamp our lovely, I mean, just look at the detail. It's funny, when we get new stamps, there are ones that always stand out. And it's funny because sometimes the ones that you think aren't going to be your favourites are. I mean, are you the same? You know, if you buy a few stamps at once, do you get the ones that you've always wanted and you think, I'm going to use it a lot? And then you find actually there's one that you didn't think was going to be your favourite, but actually you end up using that a lot. I love it at workshops when we use stamps that ladies say, oh, I'm not that keen. By the end of the workshop, they say, I can't believe how I've loved using it. They sort of draw us in, these stamps. But this one, this is definitely going to be a firm favourite. So, now I'm going to stand up for this just so I can position. I want, and it's easy for me to look down. I want it there. And that's the beauty of our clear stamps, the clear acrylic blocks. I just want, I'm hoping I've got this little bit here at the base of the bottle, but we shall see. And because you're stamping, although the tissue paper is very fine, it's worth just putting a little bit of extra oomph just around where that tissue paper is. I mean, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. If you didn't stamp perfectly around there, we'll just add some shadow, some shading, not a problem. If we lift that up, look at that. And I just think I'm going to take this off. And there we have it, look. And actually, because you can see through, look, phew, we're just on that edge there. Now, I'm going to add one of the sentiments. We've got a lovely set of sentiments called Bridge Your Dreams. Now, you know I love to curve my sentiments. Well, this is fabulous because they're already curved. So Tracey's done the job for me, so thank you. You see, she's such a good one. And I mean, follow your dreams. It's such a wonderful sentiment. So, and I love the way that it will just curve nicely over the top here. And then on the botanicals, we've got these two lovely, I was saying yesterday they remind me of eyes, leaves, feathers, beautiful. And I'm thinking, A, we're going to have some in the bottle. But B, I'm going to have some floating off. So if we do the floating ones first, if we stamp the larger one as our first little there, and then to help with perspective, because obviously things get smaller as they go in the distance, we can then have one there, and I've gone on to the smaller one now. Now, pattern building, do you know what? You could spend a bit of time building up something like this with these. I mean, imagine adding extra. If you want, you could go on. I mean, let's have a look at this, look. So if you wanted, for example, you could extend this, look, and go round. Look. So again, you know, just get playing. Right. Now I need some in my bottle, but I need to think where I'm going to put the flying elixir here. So maybe I'll just stamp around the edges. So let's maybe have one up here, one down here, and then I think if we go that way and that way. And I'm just going to give that a blot again, just because it's a slower drying ink and I don't want to smudge it. But that's all the stamping done. And that's just the way I like to approach things. So we'll get rid of that. And then when I was thinking sort of feathers, peacocks, I had to use the feather leaf stencil because, you know, the clue's in the name. It just goes with it, doesn't it? Feather leaf. And when I was looking through my inks, I wanted a sort of peacock type colour. So I've gone for mermaid. And I realised, you know, I don't use this colour very much. So it was good to actually use a colour that I haven't used for a while. Now, because I can see through my stencil, I don't need to, I could put the mask back if I wanted, but I can see where that is. So now, and also I could protect this area if I wanted, but I'll just be mindful not to go below this. And I'm thinking there, because I want to trail the feathers going up that way. I'm going to start with my larger brush. And like I say, because I don't use this ink pad very often, it's very juicy, full of pigment. So just pop some off in the lid. And then I can see where the bottle is. So just gently, gently going to go round the bottle. And if I'm not sure how much ink, just lift it up and have a look. So I can go a little bit heavier. And I'm just tickling to start off with, because I can always add more ink, add more pressure, and then lighter as we go up to this edge. Being mindful not to go over the edges. And again, if you're like me, once you've gone right over and you get a line, it makes you think not to do it again. So I'll have another, oh, I like that. So I can go just a bit deeper. And you know, I'm not adding any more ink. You'll actually pick up the ink that's on the stencil and almost blend it back. So again, let's have a look. Yeah, and I like that look. I think that's just the right amount of colour, but it's always worth that building up. Now I do want to add a little bit of ink underneath. Sorry, excuse me. You just bear with me, sorry. Quick drink of water and I'll be fine. So I'm going to come in with my number 3 brush, look, and just pick some ink up from that lid. And I'm just going to add a little bit of grounding under here. And I want to add the same colour. And to follow that line, look, I'm just going to bring it this way. Just because I think it looks more appealing that it's following that line. I'm going to pop the lid on, and then just to almost soften those edges, just going to gently come in. I've not much ink left on my brush, but just enough to soften those edges. So onto some colour. And for that, I'm just going to use my watercolour pencils. So, and I want to add a little bit, first of all, we'll colour the cork. So I'm thinking, I know brown, but I like to add a little bit of orange, just so there's almost another tone to the colour. Just want to check you can still see. And that I haven't wandered off. You know what I'm like. I don't know about you, but once I start colouring, I get sort of carried away and I'm liable to just wander off and do my own thing. Right, so for the bottle, let's just add some blue around the edge. But also it's sort of a bluey, greeny tone, isn't it? So let's come in with a little bit of green. And again, just take your time. Now, if you want to watercolour paint these, you watercolour paint. It really is up to you. And what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm going to colour my little feathers with this gorgeous green. And then going in the middle with the blue. And then once they're coloured, I'm going to go over the top and just add some potion. Now, like I say, you could watercolour paint this, you can use your pens. It's however you wish to add colour. I mean, I'm going to put my sticker over this. So what I'm going to do is come in with my Wink of Stella and we'll colour the cork. Just clean my pen and then we'll just colour the elixir, and then it'll give it time to dry so that then I can add my sticker. And again, this will just blend my lovely potion. Look how it just blends that lovely colour. And as I say, that'll just get a chance to dry while I do the rest of my colouring. So all I'm going to do, I don't want to go over the top with my colouring, so because it's only when you start to colour that you realise how much there is to colour, how much beautiful detail. But I love the actual shapes of all these. So with my green, I just decided to go around the edge, but also follow the line of these lovely swirls. So can you see? And to me, that just accentuates them. Again here. But it is very much, you know, how much you want to add. There just seems so much movement in this. And again, this is only my second, sort of third play with this stamp. So I just can't wait. I've got so many ideas, so many things I want to do with it. So while I've got my green look, and again, I'm just leaning on my tissue just in case I've got any ink or anything on my hand. Just going to go around those with that green. Right, have I got all my lovely curly bits? And then we'll come in with the blue. And I'm just going to add, and again for me, I've gone those sort of blues and greens, thinking sort of peacock colours. But you do so many different colours for this if you wish. I love that artistic license that we can use, you know, of Mr. Green one there. So for those of you telling me thank you, we can use whatever colours we want. Imagine this in reds and oranges. Right, so there we go. I think that's got. So I'm going to put those back in order as we do. And I'm just going to bring in my pastel pencils, which were just on the floor next to Eric. And I'm just going to get a little bit of shading just to add this side, just a little bit and a little bit under there. And then just with my cotton bud. Now you can put it, in fact I might, this one, I think I might just add it this side as well. Sometimes I go one side, sometimes it depends if I'm using sort of the moon mask and I've got a light source, but this I think I'll go both sides and then it'll really stand forward. It just brings the bottle forward. But also it's useful if you haven't quite stamped, it works out really well for that. Now, just want to add a little bit of my Wink of Stella just to these up here. And I think we'll add some on. We need a bit of glitter, don't we? Bit of glamour on here. And also I'm thinking some little white, now again, just going to check my white pen. There we go. Don't ever look at the back of one of my samples if ever I give you one to show, ladies and gents, because chances are I'll have done some scribbling on the back of it. So we'll just add some little white highlights. And again, I don't want to overdo it. I think my pen's a bit cold. Obviously want it to warm up a bit. We need one on there, don't we? Lovely. Oh, just one on there and there. Right, stop. Now, our beautiful flying elixir. And with these being translucent, look, we can just pop that in the middle. And that's why I purposely left that gap. Just so that it looks better sort of when you see through, having the feathers all around. Now, on my original, I just put some little dots with my black fine liner. But I was thinking we've got these gorgeous liquid pearls, so I'm going to use some liquid pearls on this one. So I'm just going to put a dot to check it's working. And then I'm just thinking, and it's just a little dot and then a lift. So a dot and a lift. And what I'm thinking is, I may just add, so where we've got our dots, and I'll just add a few extra. So I'm just going to use this for a bit of a 3D, but you have to remember to let this dry. So let's hope I don't put my fingers in it, lean on it. Got to put it somewhere safe, certainly not on the floor next to where it like I normally do. But I think, in fact, we'll just add a couple more in here, look. Just one more up there. Right, stop. So that colour is prickly pear, beautiful green, and I just thought that goes beautifully. Now, if I lift that up to show you, and they sort of dry that raised 3D. Now, if Mr. Mojo goes, and sometimes he does, just by crafting, you will come up with other ideas. So a little bit like, it was only when I came to think about adding the dots like I'd done on here, that I thought, oh, that colour, I've got my liquid pearls. So here we've got flying oil. And then today we've got flying elixir. And as I say, it's just a play on a design. So I'm really hoping you've enjoyed that and that it gives you some inspiration. So thank you, Mandy, for giving me the inspiration. It is lovely how we inspire each other, but also it's nice to tell each other that you've inspired them. That's what I love about Lavinia. Such a lovely family. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll pop back again soon. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.